Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the third episode of what will be a behind the scenes look at StarMade Deep Space Adventures. Today we're going to be looking at how I created the score or soundtrack for the more recent episodes of Deep Space Adventures. And as always, we're going to go from the initial idea to the finished product. As Deep Space Adventures evolved from just a standard Let's Play to a fuller, story-driven show, I realised that the one thing that it was missing was a soundtrack. TV shows and movies use soundtracks all the time, and it's something that you don't even realise is important until it's missing. So I decided to create a few tracks that could be used during character backstories or dramatic moments, or even just as we're moving around the set to add a bit of background ambience. Just like I did when I was getting inspiration for the Andromeda, I created a sort of mood board of composers and of soundtracks that I was going to use as a starting point or as inspiration for my own soundtrack. One of the artists that inspired the soundtrack most is an Italian progressive rock band called Goblin. Now, this isn't the kind of music I would normally listen to, but they actually created the soundtrack for George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. And it's a really, really interesting soundtrack. It's very, very synth driven and it's very unusual. It's not the kind of score you would hear in many films. I won't be able to play you any excerpts in this video, but if you search YouTube for Dawn of the Dead soundtrack, there's loads of tracks and they're really, really interesting to listen to. It's a great piece of work and it was certainly one of the biggest inspirations for me. I always carry my iPad around with me, so the first stage normally for a track is for me to create something within GarageBand on iPad. Now, GarageBand for iPad is pretty basic, but it's just enough for me to get out maybe a melody or an idea that I have for a song. Once I'm happy with the demo I've created, I will import this onto my computer at home and use a full music creation suite to create the rest of the music. What I'll do is import the track that I've been working on and expand upon it, so I'll use new instruments, much better instruments than the kind of more basic ones on iPad, and I will add new tracks to give it a bit more depth. For me, this is the part of creating a new track that takes the longest. I spend a lot of time tweaking the instruments that are there and creating sounds that I really like. Cool, so that wraps up the episode for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.